Thank you, and I appreciate being here. The Cyril F. Duke Flad Outstanding Undergraduate Award is the greatest honor that an undergraduate brother can receive from Lambda Chi Alpha. The award is named in memory of Lambda Chi Alpha's second executive director, who led the fraternity from 1942 until his death in 1968. Duke labored with love and profound dedication for Lambda Chi Alpha, and for more than a quarter of a century, Duke's predecessor, Bruce McIntosh, described Duke as a capable executive, and he mentioned while he was very much an outstanding administrator, his greatest characteristic was his character. Duke's successor, George Spasic, an international legend in himself, called Duke a man of infinite patience, wisdom, diplomacy. He was a humble man in a world that almost had forgotten the meaning of humility. He was a deeply religious man who was greatly moved by lasting friendships at a time when men thought more of receiving rather than giving. He exemplified more brotherhood and concern than any brother that I have ever met. The Flad Award was created by the Grand High Zeta in 1970, with folks soliciting and obtaining one outstanding undergraduate from roughly 11,000 student members is a monstrous task. This year's recipient of the Cyril F. Duke Flad Award goes to Patrick Vining of Delta Phi Zeta at Southeast Missouri State University. Brother Vining is receiving this award based on the leadership he has displayed at his chapter, on his campus, and throughout the community at Delta Phi Zeta. Brother Vining has served as the High Delta, High Tau Executive Committee Secretary, Bylaw Review Committee Chair, and IFC Representative. In his position of High Tau, Brother Vining helped initiate a capital campaign that is raising money to make improvements to the chapter house. Then, as High Delta, Brother Vining was responsible for recruiting the largest number in the freshman class to join the chapter in more than a decade. If you remember last night, they were given such an award. He received this task, and they received this task, by his devotion, a strategic plan that he formulated before he took office that was grounded in values-based recruitment practices. In addition to Brother Vining's tireless efforts in the office roles in his chapter, he was also shown that he can support his brothers in a deeper level. If you'll remember last night, this chapter had a brother who died of cancer. The chapter obtained, through their sale of T-shirts, $10,000, which basically went to the family and of their choice to cancer research. Patrick was very much involved in these efforts. In recommending Brother Vining for the Duke Flad Award, current chapter president Benny Morris wrote, "Patrick leads by example, and his actions motivate others to better themselves. Patrick survives to live in the ritual and the core values of Lambda Chi Alpha in his daily life, a practice that transcends the walls of our very chapter." Outside the chapter, Brother Vining is actively involved in numerous activities and initiatives on the campus of his university. This year, Brother Vining will serve his second term as president of the Student Government Association. Why he would do that, I have no idea. He has played an instrumental part in ensuring student tuition, that does not increase in the light of a 12% budget cut which their university is currently facing. He has also improved the communication between the student body and the community's city council. Brother Vining was also the president of the Model United Nations at his campus, president of the Resident Hall Association, and was a member of the Hall Council and College Republicans. The president of Southeastern Missouri State University, Dr. Dobbins, wrote, "I know Patrick is a very honest, trustworthy, and organized young man who is willing to speak out to benefit his fellow students. He is respectful and thoughtful in his deliberations and willing to consider all sides of an issue before making decisions. He has been a great asset to the campus and to our state university." You would think with all of these that he's going to have trouble working with any type of community events. However, Brother Vining is also a volunteer with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, St. Jude's Hospital, Special Olympics, the American Red Cross, Cape Police and Fire Department, the Salvation Army, and the Southeast Missouri Food Bank. Finally, Brother Vining is a member of Phi Sigma Alpha Political Science Honorary Society, Omicron Delta Kappa Leadership Honor Society, Order of the Omega, and is presidential and ambassador, along with numerous other activities in which he is involved. With all this, you know he doesn't go to class. However, he has managed to achieve an academic excellence with an cumulative grade point average of 3.9 on a 4.0 scale, earning him consecutive spots on the dean's list since he first enrolled at the university, and making him a recipient of the governor's scholarship because of his academic success and consistent leadership among his peers. It is no wonder that the Brother Vining was named the 2011 Man of the Year on his campus. Tina Reisner, the Assistant Director of Fraternities and Sororities at Southeastern Missouri State University, wrote, "Patrick stands out on campus as a man who has embraced the true meaning of fraternity and has applied it to the daily life. He is a shining example of leadership, dedication, and stewardship for the entire university, and is the best example of a fraternity man on campus that I know." Brothers, guests, our world has problems. We can talk about Syria. We can talk about people dying. We can talk about the problems in Iran. We can talk about the conflict even in Israel. We can talk about the hunger in Afghanistan. We can talk about the hunger in America. We can talk about the distrust between governmental parties. If we are going to resolve these problems, it is going to have to be by people who have true brother values, who are pure in heart, and are willing to take such a ritual not as a ceremony, but as a way of life. I feel confident that were Patrick to move to Arizona, and if he were just a few years older, he being Republican, he would undoubtedly be the governor of the state in a very short period of time. I'm not sure I would want to put that on him. However, we must have people who can resolve problems, and we have hope for that because of the people in this room. Brothers, we now have an example of someone who is fulfilling much of this. It is my pleasure, it is my honor to present to you the 2012 Cyril F. Duke Flad Outstanding Undergraduate Brother, Patrick Vining. Here, we got to have our picture taken. I'll carry this off until the day you go. Thank you.
Wow. Well, thank you for that really kind introduction. Good afternoon. What a great day to be a Lambda Chi. I feel incredibly honored to receive this award, and I'm grateful to share in this experience with brothers, both active and alumni, and with the members of my family. But this award is not about me. It's not about my accomplishments, and it's not even about my home chapter. No, this award celebrates the gift of Lambda Chi Alpha and what it has done for each of us, and will continue to do in the future. This fraternity certainly means something different for every member, but I believe we all share a few common benefits from our partnership in this bond. The first of these is a set of guiding ideals. Like many of you, I was raised with Christian beliefs. We went to church every Sunday, sang in the choir, the whole 9 yards. The fact that the principles of Lambda Chi are built off of Christian ideals carries great importance for me. But even for those of other faiths, through the core values, the creed, and the rituals of this fraternity, we are given a common set of principles against which we can and should measure our actions daily. By understanding the ideals of Lambda Chi Alpha, we each possess the tools necessary to continue to grow and become better. While many people in this world live simply for the present, blinded by ignorance, we have the light of our beliefs to lead us along our path. Lambda Chi also provides each of us with the gift of leadership. Call me crazy, but I don't think the acronym formed by our core values is a coincidence. This fraternity is an incubator for leadership potential. I didn't join Lambda Chi until the fall of my sophomore year. Prior to associating, I always fancied myself something of a leader, but after joining, I felt pushed to develop much, much further. During my first semester, I was encouraged to run for treasurer of our chapter. This was unexpected for me, as I never necessarily expected to pursue a leadership role in the fraternity, particularly so early. I'm immensely glad I did, though, as I immediately gained a greater appreciation for the chapter, its operations, and its members. Now, side note for any future treasurers out there. After you're elected, your phone will never stop ringing. Don't feel special, though. I learned the hard way that everyone just wants to borrow the debit card or something, so watch out for that. Non-future treasurers, it wouldn't kill you just to call to say hello every once in a while. We're people too, and we're not just the Bank of LCA. But I digress. Lambda Chi is also a huge part of the reason I've twice been elected president of student government. Without the encouragement of my brothers, and yes, their indulging of my incessant talk of campaigning, I could never have been successful. As a chapter, we must continue to be a breeding ground for leadership. By recruiting strong leaders, harnessing their potential, and allowing them to practice their skills through the chapter, we are developing a group of young men for whom the possibilities are limitless. And I think we can all agree that America is desperately in need of the types of leaders we can provide. Maybe the most observable of all of the gifts of Lambda Chi is that of support. Each of our Zetas is like its own special family, dysfunctional though it may be sometimes. The support of the Brotherhood goes beyond that, though. We are each part of an even greater family with all the brothers across the nation, and Canada. The extent of this bond becomes apparent in times of need. This past year, my chapter at Southeast Missouri State suffered the loss of Scott Wood, one of our brothers, to a long fight with cancer. Brothers from many other schools poured in donations, prayers, and orders for the Jock Strong shirts that Scott designed while he was active. This showed tremendous solidarity, and my chapter could not even begin to express our gratitude for this support. But that's just what it means to be a Lambda Chi, knowing that a network of support exists in times of joy and of sorrow. The networking options provided by membership in this fraternity are also extraordinary. The active brothers in our chapters, our alumni, and all of the brothers in this room have the potential to be leaders in their respective fields after college. I can almost guarantee that each of us knows at least a couple of excellent role models with whom we have built strong relationships. This is no small asset. As we embark upon our journey to our postgraduate lives over the next 1 to 3 years, these are the people we can go to for assistance and support in pursuing our success. Networking through Lambda Chi is not just career-related, though. Last month, 2 other members of my chapter and I went on a road trip to visit medical schools across the country. I never claimed to be cool. Anyway, on this trip, we had the opportunity to stay with many other chapters across the country. It saved us loads of money on hotels, and we got to meet brothers in several states. So if you're ever taking a cross-country trip, even if it isn't as lame as ours was, reach out to your brothers. It's a great experience, and I would recommend it to any undergraduate. As an overarching gift, Lambda Chi offers something few other chapters can, a truly unique fraternal experience. On this anniversary of the movement away from pledgeship towards associate membership, it is important to realize how different we truly are. Few other chapters afford their new members with the rights and privileges of fully initiated brothers, or the respect. In Lambda Chi, however, associate members experience this difference every single day. As a leading voice on the abolition of hazing, Lambda Chi has led the way towards progress for many years and will continue to do so. But this responsibility falls on active brothers at every university. We can only continue to stand apart in the Greek system if we continue to pursue excellence as individual zetas. This can certainly be a challenging undertaking. With, on average, 25% of each chapter graduating every year, the role of recruitment is integral in the caring for the future of Lambda Chi. Now, I may be a little bit biased as I currently serve as the recruitment chairman, but I believe the role of recruitment is arguably the most important in the shaping of the future of a chapter. We must identify and recruit men with the potential to become the future leaders of Lambda Chi, not only to assure the chapter is preserved, but is also allowed to flourish. Lambda Chi Alpha has given each of us these benefits: the gift of ideals, the opportunity for leadership, the system of support, the asset of networking, and the unique fraternal experience. It is, however, on each individual to pursue excellence. Through the help of our brothers, we must each work tirelessly to reach our full potential. It is not enough to go through the motions, and we cannot achieve success without the input of labor. So always strive to be better. Fight to make sure your crescent is ever growing. Know that that doesn't mean simply to grow to a point and stop. As members of this fraternity, we must strive to stand apart. Stand tall, stand for Lambda Chi, and stand to be exceptional. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Patrick.